Merry Christmas, yeah. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Coming from the facts, I just put this on your wish list. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Whipping in a foreign Santa, turn it to a litmus. Got me feeling down cause my stocking full of coal, yeah. Had a bad year, man, I'm sick of getting old, yeah. Wanna stay a kid and I love it when it's cold, yeah. It's that time of year I can act 10 years old, yeah. I know that this year he finna get me. I know Santa coming down my chimney. I hope that he isn't mad about me. This year I've been messing up my kidneys, yeah. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Coming from the facts, I just put this on your wish list. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Whipping in a foreign Santa, turn it to a litmus. I'll be okay, left some cookies on a plate. Think the milk's a little late, past the expiration date, but I think I'll be okay. Homie switching out my name, from the naughty and the shame to the nice side of the page, yeah. I made some mistakes that he won't like, yeah. But you know I still wanna get a bike, yeah. And you know I want that skin on Fortnite, yeah. Made a list and I ain't never check it twice, yeah.
Good evening, everyone. This is Roaring Swarm, second stream of the evening. We just had the first proper, but the second episode iteration of Rolling Replays, and now it is the long-awaited, eagerly anticipated Twister clan scene Fallout video for North America and European server regions. The stream is running live. There's no delay. We're not streaming any matches, any eSports, so we are interacting pretty much real time. So anything you write in the chat, I can respond to pretty rapidly. And this is going to be a bit of a weird video. Doing a live stream, it's so much easier than doing video editing, which I haven't really got the knack of yet. I have got literal notes. There's so much to talk about. You can't see it. It's good because you couldn't read my handwriting anyway. But basically, before we get started, I can see there's already quite a few people here, which is fantastic. Great to see Grumbly, our newest moderator, here. So my plan is, and if you're looking at the screen now, you can see that I have a very Spartan garage. This is because I am now on my NA account. I think it's probably best to start discussing NA because I have less to say there, fewer clans to talk about, and then get stuck into the far bigger clan war server. It's a bit of a tightened discussion we're going to have about the EU server scene. So get NA done and dusted, and then we can move on to EU server. So most of this will be done like this. Will be in the garage. We'll be looking at clans and actually going back through the previous tournaments together to discuss and for me to kind of share my views on what happened to the various different clans from the NA and European server regions. Yes, Tanker070, I do have an NA account. It's not very good. I even have a clan which I think has got like 49 members or so. I handed over deputyship to someone who said, hey, can I be a deputy? And I was like, you know what? Yes, you can. And now I have no idea, but they seem to be having a grand old time, which is fantastic. That's what this game is all about. So yeah, this is going to be potentially quite a long video. My god, don't we like a long stream. And great to see McLeish, Tommy20, ANP, Robin, Dan Svensson, Mind Twister, Ominous, the Bear Nose, all in the house. Lovely to have you guys here again as we go explore the esports scene of World of Tanks Blitz. So let me just confirm, or confer rather, with my notes. So I've got 7 clans that I want to talk about from NA. And let's see here. Now, in theory, now I'm hoping that it's not too much of a trek back, but I think Wargaming have had a ton of quick tournaments and these opposition tournaments, which I haven't really been following, if I'm being honest. Okay, no, it's not so bad. There's the Twister Cup. Excellent. Excellent. That there is some really useful stuff. That's better. Okay. So the offline finals we don't have any information for. Which is Sir Collis, great to see you. Foxy, Tanker070, Ishem, wonderful. So yeah, the offlines we don't have any information for. However, don't we just have the top 8 from the online finals from the NA server? So for those of you who don't know, the first thing to clarify is that the NA server, since inception of Clan Wars, has been dominated by one clan, and that is Pramo. They've represented North America at the top level of pretty much every tournament. And Sick Prayer says, nice music, mate. Yes, it's not mine, it's Nefx. It's a copyright-free artist. He's huge on YouTube. I'll put a link in the description below. All of his stuff is copyright-free, so you can stick it in your YouTube videos as well. And don't have any headaches about those copyright strikes. So actually, let's go to Pramo now. So just having a look at the description here, and actually let me get my face out of the way so we can see more of Pramo. Cry About It clan. So the clan was founded and led by Mike. He's actually a friend of mine on Discord. He's a really nice guy. We get on very, very well. And he is an absolute powerhouse, a mastermind. And he set up the most dominant clan in North America for years, literal years. Just have a look here. The pedigree is without question, you know, through his leadership and with the amazing skill set of the players in the clan over the last, well, 3 seasons. So over 3 years of esports, pretty much. Pramo dominated the Twister Cup in North America 2016, 2017, 2018. They won the Mobile Masters in Vegas. They won the Mobile Masters in Seattle. They won the professional season on the NA server. And they won the Twister tournament season. So, you know, and there's the Discord server. They are, or at least they have been, almost, well, pretty much unchallenged. And if you want any more of an indication about it, Pramo had 3 teams in the Twister season, which is just astronomical. For one clan to put forward 3 teams, even on NA, which is, I think, the smallest server, maybe just slightly, well, actually no, not the smallest server. It's on a level with Asia, but I think it's much more proficient in terms of Clan Wars, and has a slightly higher activity count than Asia, I think. Don't quote me on that. And Ominous is saying about Pramo, well, yes, this is what we're talking about here actually tonight, Ominous. So Pramo, let me get my notes here because the NA server is not a mystery to me, but it's a little bit of an enigma. So Pramo, and then you can see here there are 2 teams from Purple, Mass Aqua and Purple. Well, Purple is actually the, let's actually see if we can go through into the clan profile here. And yeah, here's the indication. Pramo, or the group, it's actually Purple, Pramo, and Floop. Pramo and Purple are the 2 kind of active CW clans. And Floop is, well, let's actually have a quick look. Well, we'll have a look at Floop in a bit. But what I want to talk about for the NA server And this is what happens after every Twister season, at least on the EU. There's a seismic shift. Basically, what you've got in the run-up to Twister, even with the Mobile Masters and all the kind of these mid-season tournaments going on, you have a tremendous amount of training, time, and effort that gets sunk into the esports side of Wonder Tanks Blitz. I can only speak from my experience in R2K and then Legion's big game team, now Eros clan. But basically, the training regimen that those guys go through in the run-up to a big tournament is insane. I mean, it's like around 20 hours more per week. It's truly phenomenal. There's a high level of dedication. But of course, we know that there can only be one champion coming through from each server region, and then one overall champion. That's the holy grail, is taking home the international, the Twister Cup, which C4 did in 2016, Legion did in 2017, and then Raid did this year in 2018. And what happens is you have a tremendous amount of players on each server who get involved in a crazy spike of activity. And then, once Twister's done, you know, most people didn't make the cut. They're not server champions. They're not world champions. And they have to sit back and they have to reassess. And, you know, I know that you guys watching this are pretty active CW players. You know, we're all competitive people. And it's tough. You know, being on the losing side in any tournament. We all want to win. But for these guys, when they sink so much time and effort into it, and now when we're looking at like, I know, $100,000 prize pool, $50,000 for the winner of the Twister offlines, there's a tremendous drive and incentive to be the best team. And what you find is, same with other esports, Dota 2, League of Legends, you know, you've got like a kind of, it's like a free market of players. Everyone's speaking to the same people. And I'm seeing Reckless Knight, Captanium Clash, and others chatting. Yeah, and that's what happens. So what happened on NA, you had Pramo, Pincer, Purple, Straight, and those are the kind of the dominant teams. There's also, for example, Chrono and Floop-ish. I don't really get the next tier down on the NA server, but there's a huge talent pool in those in those three clans, in Pincer, Pramo, and Purple, and Straight as well, 4 clans. And after Twister, you've got players who, you know, although they're in different clan tags, they know each other on a personal level, and they have like a spike in activity, and they start communicating, and they go like, are we in the best situation possible? Can we make a better team together as individuals? And that's what I think has happened. So let's just have a look at the teams here. So Pramo, all of these guys during the tournament we're in the clan that they're listed under. You got a Pramo. Out of the Hate Us More team, 7 of the guys are still in Pramo. But Concept, the captain of the team, and Fadu, both went to RGN. You go to Pramo's main team, I think this is the team that won. This is the team that won NA server. And if this isn't just indicative enough of what's happening on NA, like if you're looking at Pramo and you're still thinking these guys are the ones to beat, don't get me wrong. There's still a tremendous amount of talent, and they've got the numbers, they have the pedigree, they have the organization and structures to pull through into the next Twister season. But if you're looking at this and you're thinking anything other than that there's a new team on the block, you're crazy. Mo, the spiritual leader, if you're following Clan Wars, we all know and love Mo. And I've actually had the joy of playing on a team that he's commanded. He's a phenomenal Clan Wars leader. Like, just sensational in my opinion. RGN, Dragon Creed, Rika, his Royal Fatness RGN, TJF Blue RGN, Fishy RGN, Mike A has gone to Crate, and Mike A is the former clan leader of Pramo. Pramo it's up in the air, it's under new leadership, and actually if we can maybe take a look at the clan profile. So, Mike's stepped out of Blitz for the time being. I don't know. I hope he comes back. He's a great guy. He helped a lot with the channel. His insight into the game, into the mechanics, into the kind of the political structure of the clan was seen. It's really, you know, he's on a very strong level, and is a really interesting guy to talk to about the intricacies of the clan scene. And let's. I'm looking here. We've got Toby, Sick, some of the raid guys here, and Void as well. Tanner saying we could throw on that list. Well, we can take a look at them actually in a bit. We're only 15 minutes into what could be a mammoth exploration. But look, I mean, look at this. Pramo has lost some key members from its top 2 teams, and then if we look at the other Pramo team, 3 players now, 4 players, clanless, another player, JJ Raids, to RGN, OG Savage to Scammo. Let's actually see what Scammo is. It's a pretty strong clan. But Pramo's fractured. We've seen some of the most active clan wars players that were on the rosters in all 3 teams disperse into the field. And for me, the era of like the whole era, the 3-year period where Pramo were uncontested is over. The NA clan scene has been blown wide open this time. Pramo are for sure still contenders, but they've lost a tremendous pool of talent. And that's not to say that they can't shut that talent down, but it means there's more competition. The scene on North America is now much more diverse and competitive, which I think is a good thing. The question, of course, is though, can they hold out? Now, also, if we look at the Purple Clan, again, huge shift here. All of these guys were in the team. They were the best and most active and most available players in the Purple Clan. The 2 teams forwards, Scammo, RGN, VB, Index, Clanless, and we're only a month or 2 out of Twister now, so it's really crazy. And here, RGN again, Floop, Pramo, Purple. So this team, it's only really Nexus GT that's been lost, and Stewie 14 to MRGD. Let's have a look here. New clan, small comp, chill clan, like maybe one to watch, but you know, the Pramo Nexus, the conglomerate of Purple, Pramo, and the Floop clan, has really been taken apart. And now let's actually have a look at RGN, because little plug here, RGN are one of the sponsors of the channel. They've got 23 players. They are closed for applications. This is a pretty elite unit. English, Russian and Spanish. In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity. And doesn't that just sum up how this unit has been formed? And if you look here, like these names, I'm recognizing a lot of these guys from the various different teams that played. We had a conversation on Discord about this name. I'm impressed that you did this. Don't stop, Oni-chan. That's it. Well done. Kudos to you. But basically, now the North American server has been thrown into disarray. There is a wealth of opportunity for anyone. And you know, for anyone who's looking to get stuck into clan wars in NA, there are more teams, there are more openings, there are more rosters being finalized. I think there's more opportunities for people to get involved with these big names to try and prove themselves in trainings and the quick tournaments and the small tournaments in the run-up to Mobile Masters and Twister. So for me, it's awesome to see I'm sad, you know. Pramo was a fantastic unit. I'm on the Discord server. It was a fantastic group of people, but the people are still there, by and large. Just the allegiances and the teams have been reshuffled. So we've seen a new champion, or a new competitor rather, emerge out of the fire, and that is Rain, RGN. And I really hope that they can keep their shit together. It's always tough when you get 20 odd ultra competitive players in the same boat. Everyone wants to have a crack at the shot. Everyone wants to have a crack at the title. Everyone wants to be on the team, and everyone is looking for to make the clan the best it can be. But you can get a lot of internal politics and heated discussion about tactics and clan direction, and it can be really challenging forming a new esports clan. The first couple of months are very, very rocky, I'm sure, as many of you well know. So Pramo, purple, and the floop element, semi-dispersed. RGN's formed, and also RGN has taken some players from Pincer. So Pincer, for the EU guys who maybe don't know this, in NA, Pincer was the clan that kind of formed and was challenging that Pramo conglomerate, and they also have 2 teams in the top 8 from the Twister 2018, Malice and Reaction 2, also known as Goldfish. So if we have a look at these teams here, there you go. One guy staying in Pincer, 1 clanless, 1 to dash AFK, whoever they are. 5 players gone to Rain. Like the Pramo, Pincer, the Pramo conglomerate, the Pincer, these 2 opposing sides, there was communication between players within those structures. They formed a 3rd ultra competitive entity. So this is just from Goldfish. And then if we take a look actually at the Malice team, 2 players staying in Pincer, 2 clanless, 4 to Rain. So Rain has done an amazing job of just really, I like fusing together some of the different players from different backgrounds, different clans, and this could even create like an extremely strong esports team. But it has to survive through the first couple of months. It has to really settle and solidify itself, and prove itself. And the first challenge is going to be Mobile Masters. So Pincer is, and I think let's check here. I'm actually just going to address some of the comments now so we don't get that lost. Doing the reading. There's a lot to go. And let's see here. Yeah, I agree with Captainium Clash. Once the players settle, it will be more competitive, and it will be much more interesting. The ting goes ESA. I will do the EU Fallout after the NA. I started with NA because it's much smaller. The EU, there is, I mean, like I had 23, a short list of 23 clans I wanted to mention, and kind of explore the fates of. And let's see. Yeah, it was Reckless Knight that said Pincer lost members. You're absolutely right. Pincer lost, and Captainium Clash at Purple kind of died. So Pincer, Purple, Pramo, the 3 Ps. They're in pretty rough times, but they're still there-ish, to a certain extent. I mean, if we have a look at Pincer, the clan profile, there's still 26 people here. There's still a fairly decent pool of players here. But obviously, a lot of the talent from the 2 teams that were in Twister, the online finals, have gone to Rain. So it'll be interesting to see, Klinzites, for example, Red Right Hand, if these guys can pull together the clan and form a good esports team out of the the loyal player base that they have remaining. They still have the custom logo, of course, which is always worth keeping the clan going for, if we're being honest. And then, so that's the kind of those 3 teams. Then we've also got Straight. And here, Straight was a relatively new clan. I hadn't heard of them before the online finals, actually. And I like to think that I follow, well, definitely the EU esports and clan scene very, very intensely. And even the NA scene to a certain extent. However, it was good to see, you know, a new team on the board. And straight, they've got a solid number base still, you know, over 30 players. Like, they've not bled talent significantly. I mean, at least they haven't. They're still there. And they've got the Discord and the, you know, the pretty good entry requirements. And if we look at the personnel, there's still some very high average damage players with a good battle count. You know, there's still an esports team here to be put forwards. But the guys that were in the actual clan, in the team, only 4 remain. Some guys have gone over to Void. Now this is someone, as you said, I should mention Void. Tommy20. Yes. I didn't actually put these on my shortlist. And so maybe it's worth taking a look at Void, V Clan. Void Oblivion, you know, custom logo. They have an esports pedigree. They didn't quite make the cut for the online finals 2018. Pretty solid requirements. And, you know, we look at the, again, high average damage numbers, strong battle counts, strong win rates as well. And again, so there's, you know, you've now got Rain, Pramo, Pincer, to a lesser extent Purple and Void, and Straight, who are all capable of fielding very strong or very solid esports teams. Blazive is saying, thanks for streaming the CZSK League. My pleasure. Love streaming a good esports session, especially community tournaments. Great to see you guys organizing yourselves for the fame and glory. So, for me, my opinion on the North American server, Twister 2018 was great. NA is proving that it's extremely competitive. I think it was massively unfortunate that the Pramo team that went to Minsk got put in the group of death with the 2 Russian clan. Was it the 2 Russian clan? Basically, they had a really tough group. And yeah, it was the 2 Russian clans. And Silent Cougar asking a question, but so I will answer that question because that's a good one, Silent Cougar. So I think they had a really tough draw in Minsk. I think the Pramo squad that went to Minsk could have done a lot better than they actually ended up doing. And for me, I also did a lot of the commentary and streams for the NA Twister, the finals and some of the earlier games in the round robin phase, and the quality and level of play that I saw in North America. It's higher than I've ever seen in the previous years, and I think it's definitely on a par with EU. I know that EU and NA players, we've got accounts on each other's servers, and we're actually like exchanging tactics, ideas, metas, and it's making everyone stronger, to be honest, having this cultural exchange program between EU and NA. And so for me, it was really impressive to see how, from such a small server population, how talented North America was overall. But now to address the question from Silent Cougar. Will there ever be an opening for those of us older players who play via PC / Steam for tournaments or similars to be held? Well, 50 battles a day is awesome. As a minimum, that's really good. I think the issue is, I think you'll be able to play PC tournaments, and you know, if you can prove yourself and you can get up to the level of play that's required to join these kind of guys. I think that's Rogue barking in the background. I think, you know, if you, it's okay, don't worry, it's okay. If you can get up to that level, for sure you can get involved with the teams and you can train and you can play the regular tournaments. But I think the issue is, if you play on PC, and Wargaming have made this really clear, they've said, you know, in no uncertain terms, that they want the direction of World of Tanks Blitz to be mobile. And there is, at least they're not indicating that there's going to be any kind of offline events which are mixed controls. And so if you're playing on PC only, this will be a limiting factor for you in terms of your ability to engage. Yes, Tommy20, Rogue is unhappy. He saw a horse out of the bedroom window earlier on today, and he just lost his mind. He's been crazy ever since. I have no idea. I can't fix the dog. The dog's broken for at least the next 12 hours. So we'll just have to put up with the barking for now. And Charge 9, any thoughts on the fairly new clan VB? Well, let's check them out. This is a new one to me. So let's see. We've explored that tournament structure there. Messages. Let's see what's happening here. Clan chat. Ominous typhoon. I have. Lol. I can't play with 300 ping on PC. It doesn't work. So let's go to clans here. And this is my clan on NA. We have an average win rate of 49.64. We're pretty boss. So let's search for VB. Yes, Tana, that's right. There were Ascent tournaments which were mixed controls. However, the Ascent tournaments were mixed. However, the ultimate goal of Ascent, the wildcard tournament, was touch only. So again, you know, you can get involved with your clan in the esports side up until a point, but when it comes to big tournaments or big offline tournaments, you won't be able to play with PC controls. And that is, for example, when we go to the EU server. For those of you EU players who are watching at the moment, if we're talking about, for example, the Unknowns, the Unknown clan, they were extremely dominant in trainings, but they were mostly PC players, and they really struggled when it came to the touch-only control tournaments. And Reckless Knight is saying that his friend is a deputy, so we can't say anything too scathing about VB, the Viking Berserkers. Is it? And we're getting the right tag here. Yes, we are. And looking here at the average damage and average victories, it's not anything to shout home about. However, as we know, it's not about stats when it comes, not about random battle stats when you get into clan wars. And if we have a look here, and also, you know, it's not all about the average clan stats. So there's some, you know, there's some solid players here in VB, but there is always going to be the odds stacked against them. I think, although random battle stats don't directly translate to clan war performance, there is a strong correlation between very high level random battle skill sets and top level performance in clan wars. If you look at the top players and the top teams from the Twister seasons, almost invariably they have extremely high average damage and win rate statistics. Average damage correlates to more time spent playing. The higher average damage, usually the higher average tier. So not only does your win rate matter more, it also means you've got more experience with the higher level tanks and that kind of that higher level different pace gameplay that you find at tier 9 and tier 10. Hard to describe, but I think you'd all agree that it's definitely a thing. The tier 10 games always handle differently to, for example, tier 5, 6, 7, 8. So if we, actually, since we're here, I've got to open some crates. I have 60 gold, so you know, and 53,000 credits. So what is there to lose? Let's start small. Boosters. Yes, champion. Let's go big. More boosters and a part of a certificate for 1 hour at premium time. Wargaming really know how to rope you in. And a huge container. Boosters, yes! Love it. We can play more games at tier 3. And that'll be us happy as Larry. So I think, well, let's actually have a quick look now at, because I wanted to have a quick look at Floop and see what their clan description says. There are 2 Floops. I think it's the Floopy Floopers. No. Is it just the Floopers? This is the Floopers. So this is a feeder clan. Now they're feeding into a kind of a fractured structure of Purple and Pramo. But, you know, having the feeder clan there when the players transitioned out into RGN might not have been a bad thing. Maybe it put Pramo and Purple in a better position to survive. But still, looking at, like, again, you know, there are talented players and there are dedicated players that put a lot of time into the game here. I mean, this is crazy. 9.2 in average tier, 60,000 battles pretty much. So Floop is still feeding into, I mean, if the structure of the Pramo conglomerate has been maintained since Maikei's departure, there's still the potential there for Pramo to field and Purple and Floop and that to field a significant number of teams, shall we say. And Vlad is absolutely right. The whole point of Blitz is to be touched. PC controls are an added option, an added extra. Interestingly, Blitz is also one of the games that you can play on Game Vice, which is a weird little accessory, which is like a Nintendo Switch controller that you kind of plug into the headphone jack and the power socket of your device, and they have them. Google it. Game Vice. I found it a couple of days ago. I was looking for Christmas presents for some friends, and it's not for me, but it's an interesting thing. I have no idea how good it is. It works very well, but it's not cheap. But yeah, Blitz is primarily targeted at the touch market. So I think PC controls, I would try and get away from them and onto touch if you want to get serious about esports in Blitz. So yeah, Floop's still feeding into whatever's left of Pramo and Purple. I think they'll still be contesting a lot of the events, a lot of the tournaments and things. You know, the true test will be to see how well they do in the run-up to Mobile Masters and Twister next year. That'll be make or break for Pramo. And then also there is Chrono. Now, someone from Chrono said that they were worth checking out, so I don't know if they are. Looking for you guys in the chat to kind of share your opinions on this clan, because I haven't really encountered them much. I think they're one of these hyper-structured, hyper-organized clans. Yes, with wings, competitive wings. So there's, again, like the Pramo conglomerate, there's a big player base. They're structured, they're organized to a certain extent. And that means that they can keep feeding in players and keep the retention relatively high. And they're never going to be shutting down a team anytime soon. But I don't know about their performance, for example. So they've got three units. This one is the competitive wing, with a good, good entry requirements of owning tier X and having decent damage stats in it, using Discord, and then they have one for casual players and a reserve/feeder clan for the competitive wing. So it's a good structure, but I don't know. I don't know how that works. And Tommy20 is asking about R or Epiphany. Dave Max says Chrono's a group of nice guys. We like that. We like nice people. Upper middle clan. Well, that's important. You need a diverse kind of tiered structure to the clans. You need to have a full. Think of any sport. You have divisions and leagues, and then you have the Premiership or like the top level. They're dominant. Like the best. But the best are only there because there's all the different levels underneath them. But no, it's good for you guys to discuss. But this is just to kind of say, for me, I think we'll close the book on NA now. And there we go, I've lost my mouse. But let's just have a quick look here. And this is not just because they're sponsoring the channel. But when you look at Rain, when you look at the amount of talent and the sheer, I mean, in terms of just, you know, the average stats, win rate, average damage, average numbers of battles, the pedigree is here. And the fact that all of these, or pretty much all of these players came from different teams from the NA top 8, the NA finalists. I've got a lot of confidence in this unit, but I also have a lot of reservations, because I think when you try and cram that many active people into one clan, you start having problems. I really hope they can keep their shit together and not implode or explode, because for me it'll be great to see more. The NA server needs more clans at the end of the day. That's the only thing for it. So I think that's all that can be said for NA. The reign of Pramo, interesting, because we're talking about Reign as well. Basically, Pramo's days of dominance are potentially over. We could see a new king on the block in form of Reign. It'll be interesting to see if Pincer and Straight and Void can pull through. The different Pramo and Purple teams can also keep themselves active and ticking over. The dust is still settling. Mobile Masters and the run up to that will be the acid test, which will say what's happening or what's not happening. But now we're going to go to the EU. So I'm going to do a weird little scene transition, because I need to log out and log back in again. And there you go. You can see Win, who is next, and Rain, RGN, are sponsoring clans. Also, WinterWar from EU is sponsoring, but they don't have a clan logo yet. But I've been promised that it's coming. So, you know, hopefully we can get their logo up there soon. And for anyone who is interested, there is one spot left for a clan to sponsor the channel. Check out the Patreon link in the description below. It's got a lot of benefits, being a professional hero sponsoring at that level. Good lord, I have to log in again and I've forgotten my password. So, let's see. There we go. Grumbly says the logo is coming for WinterWar. I should bloody well hope so. It's been, I think, a couple of days now. So we're going into EU now, and this is, well, you know, I'm going to have to take my hat off, because it's getting pretty warm. And let's see. Here we are. Oh, interesting. There's a transition. Fantastic. So, there's a lot to talk about on the EU server, and I'm a little bit more comfortable talking about it as well. And as I said, I drew a short list of 23 clans. And for those of you who've also been following the other activities of the channel, we've been there are other clans which I could talk about, but I'm not going to. We've seen different community tournaments. Most recently, we had the CZSK, the Czech Republic Slovakia Champions Tournament. There's also been the Polish Clans Tournament. So the EU server is much bigger and much more active on the esports scene. We also have a lot of crossover with Russian players and clans running teams and accounts here. There's even some Asian esports players. I think Gosu, GOSU, are now like an Asian esports team that are playing on the EU for practice and trying to build up their experience level. So it's super competitive, the EU server. So first of all, I actually have the list here, so I know what I'm doing. I want to talk about two of the teams from the online 8 first. So first of all, I want to talk about Loka. Now these are great guys. They've been around since the beginning of clans on the EU server. Really, they are, for as long as I can remember, they've been up there. And legend has it that Loka, it stands for lots of cuddly animals. And in the early days of the clan, everyone had like a name of an animal as their handle in game. But they're the professional clan now. They were part of the Blitz Pro League. They were in the top 8 of Twister 18 on the EU server. They are lovely guys. They've been around for a long time. For me, I think Loka are safe. You know, they didn't do very well in the online, the top 8. They were dominant in the preliminaries and the other tournaments, and even the BPL. They did very well. They were dominant in the run-up to Twister, but then, you know, they got stuck in the top 8 in a double round robin system with First Alliance, Raid, R2K, Easy, Legion, Big Game, and that was a really punishing, really punishing, and very busy schedule for them. And they put up a really solid fight, but obviously didn't quite make the cut in the end. But look, there's a tremendously active talent pool here. And the clan has been around for as long as I can remember. So for sure, I am absolutely confident that Loka will be competing, and it's, you know, they through the BPL, the Blitz Pro League, they got active, they got training, and they got ready for the Twister 2018. And now that they're back on the clan, we're seeing, I've got no doubt that if they keep training and keep their hand in the game, that they'll be a force to be reckoned with, for sure. At least that's my inclination. And I don't think, you know, this is not a team that is going anywhere anytime soon. I expect them to be around until the end of time. So, always ones to watch. On the other side of the scale, though, you've got Rez. Which... I don't know. I'm not seeing them. Have I scrolled past them? We're gonna actually have to try and find them. We're actually gonna have to try and find them through the tournament. Let's see here. That's the offlines. There's nothing there for us. We're scrolling. That's the wild card. So, as we said, Loka. Well, I mean, if we take a look actually at the Loka team, great to see you, TJF Blue, and Lopani, and the money dude from LXN. Fantastic stuff. TJ is, I don't want to say the driving force behind this video, but he's definitely the person that's asked for this video the most. So we're mostly doing this for him. So cheers, TJ. So, Loka. Only 3 players. 4 players moving from Loka. Karolak and Foxy moving ship to Eros. We're going to talk about them eventually. Hollow Panda going to Immortals, another very active, very long-standing clan. Close links to Loka. They're kind of like, I would say, friends, shall we say. And actually, Vlad's saying most members, I guess that's from Rez, joined FBI. We'll check that out. Thanks, Vlad, for that tip. But here, you know, 2 members to Eros, 1 to the Immortals, the same kind of community, different clans, but still sort of staying there. And Spank Me Danny. Come on, what are these names? He's gone to KRU, another clan that I want to talk about. I don't have a pen. I'm at a desk and I don't have a pen. This is the 21st century that we live in, when there's no actual writing materials anywhere to cross off things from your paper list. So, Loka, the actual team, relatively intact. A little bit of bleeding. Then if we go to Rez, QC34 to Kraken, Mr. Tipunor staying clanless, and then yeah, pretty much well, Olive went to bots, and then 6 players to FBI. The Rez clan, I think it still exists, but it's only held by shell accounts. Like when I last saw it, there's like 3. There's 3 accounts there, like Rez. But it's worth noting that Rez was formed literally in the run-up to Twisted 2018. It was put together by this group of players that play a lot together very regularly. They're a great CW unit. They just really got caught out by the double round-robin system and the really next-level competition that were there from the other teams that kind of like topped the meta in EU. Ominous is saying paperless. What's that all about? It's what you do when you're bored and you don't have access to a laptop or an iPad or something, and all you have is a pen and a paper and your imagination, and you just have to literally do that to escape the doldrum of your reality. So yeah, Tommy 20. Let's check out FBI, because Spitfires and some of the other guys here are now here in in the French baguette invasion, which, if you know, that's a pretty good clan name. That is pretty good. And I have. I don't know what their requirements are, but they look pretty high. But if we look at the personnel here, there's been obviously a renaming trend going through. But this is a strong... Okay, there's quite a few literally reroll accounts here. But there's some good win rate, good average damage accounts in the clan, and a good level of experience. And I think, and this is, I think, is a player from BPS. But you've got Spitfires, Finalist, Mr. Vodka Boy. There are some good names here in this clan. I don't know if it'll go the same way as Rez. But let's be honest. Those players are still active, but Rez, the concept of Rez is not back. Rez is gone. But the players, the unit, a lot of those guys are still playing together, just under a different banner. So we've got a bit of a freelance aspect going on here on the EU. So since we're here, we've covered Loka, we've covered Rez. There's a ton of other teams to go through, so we're gonna have to pick up the pace. Otherwise, we're all gonna die of old age before we get to the end of the stream. Easy. Now, it's interesting. At the beginning of the online, when we knew the top 8, a lot of the community contributors and other people involved in the commentary side for Twister touted Easy, the all-star team, as like they were going to do really, really well. And from my kind of knowledge and experience in the clan war side of EU, I wasn't so sure. I didn't think that they would be operating at quite the same level as, for example, Legion and R2K. And ultimately, I was proved right. So I was very smug, and I still am quite smug. but they are a formidable bunch of players, if we're being honest. And I would cry if I had to face them on the red team in randoms. But have a look at this. Easy has been assimilated by R2K, pretty much. The 9 players from the Easy team, gone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players into R2K. Fox, I think that's a Turkish clan that's fairly active in Clan Wars, but never really carved out a big name for themselves in the titles or high-level championships. Got 1 player. Ghost Gunner 11 has gone to US. That used to be known as MAC. I think that's an Italian clan. Cold Hearted Andy and KB Canerly. These are definitely renamed accounts because I didn't call any of them. Are still with Easy. And if you check out Easy's still got the same model, the same the same description, which is interesting because some of those players have now gone to other clans, so they're kind of due an update there. Lopen is saying no team spirit in Easy. I think they had team spirit, but they had a really rough start, and I don't know what happened, but you know, they lost a lot of games early on, and I think that really rocked the boat, and they weren't able to recover. But if you look at the there are some very proficient players here, and there's still the makings of a very strong, very solid Clan Wars team. I mean, you've got Specialist, Wizard. I like that name, Inglorious Mustard. That's good. Schizophrenic. There's Baboon Easy. Is a very solid player indeed. So there's and Silopan as well. He keeps hitting me up for platoon invites. I'm really sorry, Silopan, if you're watching this. I will one day accept the platoon request, but I'm usually busy doing something else, which is a curse, I'm afraid. But you know, so Easy still has a good talent pool, but most of the top guys, if we're in the top team, are out. So, you know, from these teams, Loka, it's a diehard, it's an old school clan, it's always going to be around. Rez is gone. Easy bled top talent to the likes of R2K. Now, First Alliance, this is an interesting one because... yeah, there we go. Again, Eros, like RGN Rain, is hoovering up players from different clans. And Eros, through Vupsi, a Russian-speaking player, battle commander, is now forming 2 teams, an English-speaking and a Russian-speaking team. And you can see here that Eros, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players out of First Alliance's top team are now in Eros, which is, I mean, that's crazy. Vitalik and Andyskill, though, still hanging around in First Alliance. First Alliance numbers used to be pushing 40, but we've had more Russian clans. I mean, there's First, 1ST, Codex, there's a couple of other Russian clans on the scene. And that is... yeah, they're part of the First clan. They've still got crazy high entry requirements. And if you look here at the statistics of the players, again, Warwick's leading the clan. There's still some big names here. Andyskill, Vitalik, Warwick. They're the ones that I recognize the most. But big damage numbers, high average tiers, very solid battle count. And we know that these guys are involved in Clan Wars and play eSports. Ah, I'm blocking the team. Good call. Is there anywhere to go? Yes. Super good call, the Bear Nose. Thank you. Much appreciated. See, we need this. This is the benefit of being live, is you guys can actually say, oh, Rolling, you're being a noob. Move the camera. It's so easy to forget, actually, where the camera is on the thing. So, like, yeah, First Alliance is still there. but a large portion of the top team, the best of their talent, has gone over to Eros. And I think also YF, this is young folks? Yeah. It's another Russian-speaking team. English-Russian. Very, very small. I don't know how active they are in Clan Wars with only 8 members. But I mean, there's a lot of activity here. And I mean, if you look at the activity levels, like all of these guys have been playing within the last week. So it'll be interesting to see if this very small, tight-knit group of players will be active. I don't think so. And so that's YF. That's First Alliance, Eros. We'll cover. So we've covered the 4 that didn't make it to the top 4. We're still left with Big Game, Legion, Raid, R2K. Let's take a break from this because those 4 teams, that's the big juicy finale of the stream. 183, love it. There are some other teams that we wanted to talk about. Well, okay, let's do it. So we touched upon them briefly. There's KRU, Crew. Now, this clan has been formed, disbanded, reformed several times. They're currently at a member count of 10, which is enough to run a Clan Wars team, but it's pretty touch and go. From the clan description, I don't know how active they're going to be. They were being led by some other players, but I think, and you can see here, this is one of the players from Res has gone over to Crew. There's some pretty solid players here. I mean, Full Metal Pessimist, Kaveta, Beans. Beans, you're in Crew. Fantastic stuff. And some of the former unknown players here as well. Really high average damage, good battle count. I hope that they can get active in Clan Wars because there is a good level of talent here and they could be competitors at a high level on the EU scene. Let's see. Oh, Christopher Kelly's gotten warmed by Grumbly. Grumbly is exercising his moderator powers. Seems like he was doing it with good cause. So, if we look at these guys, I'll let the mods take care of the stream. I ain't gonna ban you guys. They're there for that, so they're watching you. Anyway, I hope Crew can get active and can secure a few more members and get like dominant. Can get like a good unit moving forwards with good levels of activity. It's tough to do. I know, Grumbly. I know. You're doing a good job. Don't worry. They're doing a good job so far, but it's tough to run a Clan Wars team with only 10 members in the clan, and hopefully they can pull in a few more. And you know, I think this is one to watch. Another one to watch. And it's really interesting. I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but like the number of clan tags that are becoming unavailable is getting insane. Players forming new clans are having to get very inventive with dashes, underscores, and the use of numbers in place of letters on the EU server when trying to make it a what do you mean no clan has been found? Oh, okay. You see what I mean? It's not dash R1P dash. It's not dash R1P. It's R1P dash. And let's see here. It's rest in rest in peace. And again, you know, we're looking here. Average damage over 2k. Victories over 67%. And no like battle counts as well. There's a couple of rerolls in here by the looks of things. But there is a strong power base here. And I know A-Streamer is a former Legion player. SK is from the Unknown Clan. Queen Astrid, I think, is from the Immortals. So there's a very strong potential here for Rest in Peace to kind of be, let's see. Never mind, didn't see it. There's a potential here for this clan to be good, to be competing with the top level, with the teams that made it into the online top 8 of Twister 2018. But again, there's a lot to be said for being tried and tested and proven in an actual very competitive clan wars environment. And at the moment, I think we're not going to see that in the current clan wars. These random tournaments, these quick tournaments, they're not competitive enough. Although they're normalized, they're not strongest versus weakest, they're not random. And Exit saying, look at hate. Don't worry, the Exit. Hate. I Hate Monday are on my shortlist, which I wrote on paper because I'm back in the Stone Age over here. So basically, I don't think at the moment there is the tournament structure to really provide the challenge or the motivation for serious teams to get involved. You look at the rewards. So like, for example, this team, they're founding themselves, they're forging. But actually, if we go and take a look at tournaments at the moment. I mean, if you look at the rewards here, a team reward of 350 gold, 1 million credits. I mean, this isn't enough to get die-hard Clan Wars fans to the table. And I hope Wargaming, I mean, they listen to the community, because it's just not worth the time, to be honest. A little bit of gold, okay, it's nice, but 350 gold between 9 players, potentially 7 to 9 players. It's not really that much at all when you think about it. I mean, it's next to nothing in terms of a real monetary value, and the time that it takes to prepare and attend and organize the team for a tournament. Most of these players, yeah, Captinium Clash is 1 mil credits is pretty nice, but like these players, they can average. I mean, I know from myself, if I'm playing in a Louve, I can average 70, 80,000 credits a game. So I can play 10, 12 random battles. And if I run a couple of credit boosters as well, I've made the credits I would have got from a tournament, and it would have taken me less time. And it would have been less stressful at the end of the day. So, and I agree, we should get more. There should be, I mean, there should be more. There needs to be rewards from tournaments that you can't get from grinding. Like gold, like camos, like clan logos, like clan camos. There's so much potential on the game for customization, for attachments which are obscenely overpriced at the moment, 4,000 gold for like an eagle or like a red light on the front of your tank. That's mental. I'm never going to buy it. But tournaments provide an opportunity for Wargaming to kind of get people involved in esports. Yeah. And TJ saying they don't want tournaments to be easy to farm credits. And I don't think, like, people who are at tier 10, like, we don't need credits. I mean, we might need credits, but we can always grind in random battles. But the rewards need to be separate. They need to be something that you can't get from random battles. Then people will go to tournaments. Like, so they'll still go to random battles to grind credits, but they'll go to tournaments to get like camos, or more customization, or like clan benefits, for example. And let's see. So anyways, we've got sidetracked, and that's my fault. I've been streaming now for like an hour. I'm fucking running out of steam. So, we touched upon Crew and R1P, rest in peace. There's actually 5 teams, which I wanted to just quickly mention. And we're going to have to do the whole searching by clan tag thing, which are quite old, which were in the running in the Ascent tournament. They did make the top 8 online. They were in the teams which competed in the preliminaries, but didn't quite make the cut. You've got the Kraken eSport team. These guys have been around for a while now. They've got a really strong membership base. I see them all the time. They're very active. Apart from that guy who hasn't been playing since September. But you know, like most of the players playing in December. And again, good average damage numbers, good battle counts. It's a French clan, so I have no idea what this says. But I think that again, these are a team which are gaining momentum. You know, they're getting more experience. The players are getting more competitive exposure, more opportunity to play the best teams at a higher level, and that's making them better. And that's what we need in Blitz Esports, is more competitive forums for the best teams to meet and play against one another in a serious manner. Not these random quick tournaments, but more high-level tournaments. So let's see. That's Kraken S. I think they're ones to watch. There's also now these guys, PAT. If we can find them, I wish there was. Is there a way to search for clan tags? There we go. The Polish Armored Tomatoes. Actually, the win rate and average damage of this clan has been steadily decreasing. Oh, Seba Warrior 666. Souls equal all baton. Good to know. That is useful information. Thank you for that. So, don't know what this says. It's in Polish. But Polish Armored Tomatoes have been around for a very long time. They're like one of the oldest clans in the game. Does it say when they were formed? Yeah, registered in December of 2015. Like, it's an old school clan. They were in the Ascent tournaments. They participated in the preliminaries. They've never kind of made a breakout in the EU esports scene. They've never really kind of had or retained the talent pool. It's been a good kind of training and proving ground for players that have then moved on to other clans. But you know, it's let's see, I'm seeing you guys saying the 183 is going to be nerfed. That makes me quite happy and sad at the same time. I'll be happy because well, I don't normally drive a 183. But I'll be sad because I also do drive a 183 quite a lot. So, you know, there's that. And Red Skulls checking bold. I will have a look for souls and maybe bold. We'll see. So, Kraken esports team, Patton. Another team which has been around for a while that is kind of focused on clan wars is Alert, a Russian-Lithuanian team. And there's some big names here. 50 Shades of Noob, Brown Crab, Grizzly, Ultra Instinct, Sepipiu, 50 Shades of Noob again, with an extra U. LVLG is a fantastic player. This guy is a monster. Leon Vic. No one else is jumping out at this moment in time, but that's more to do with my poor memory. Alert were in the Ascent tournament. and made it into the top echelon, the championship that was the kind of the precursor to the wildcard tournament, the online finals there with the Russian teams and the EU teams. Played a very good game. And Money Dude saying for LXN, they're on my list as well, don't worry. These are another one to watch, and this is, I'm just trying to highlight to you, like, these are the teams that are on my radar that I'm expecting to see, or well, I'm either highlighting to say that they've died, or saying they've been around, they could do well, or they're definitely on my radar. Now, Alert and Kraken eSports are on my radar for people that could be teams that could jump up into the top echelon of teams, like, you know, the top 10 teams. They're not quite there yet, but I mean, especially Alert has tremendous potential to make it to that level. Now, I did have this team live, but I think Live were a very competitive esports team up until recently. However, as I understand it, the top echelon of Live, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong here, but the top echelon of Live fused with Nova. And so Nova basically fell apart. You've got Hamza Boy here hanging in there, but the rest of the Nova group is down to 3 members. It was an active esports team. It kind of imploded, and I'm going to check my Discord now for the actual clan tag that I'm looking for. There we go. So as I was saying, people are getting ever more inventive. Oh no. Okay, no. My mistake. I think actually the Nova players have fused with Live, and now this is the esports team from Live. Be interesting to see. I don't know exactly. I'm checking the Discord list here, because they were on my radar, but now I'm not understanding exactly how they've fused the different members and things. So if anyone from Live is there, it's worth checking, or at least please do message me here and say, like, what happened to Live, Nova, those two clans, because Live had a very good track record in the Ascent tournament. And it'll be interesting to see what happens to them between now and the next Mobile Masters. And I know I'm seeing all of these messages. I will cover Unknown. I will cover LXN. I will cover Baton/Souls now. So let's see. We've also got Tesher, Spanish team. It's another clan that has been around as long as I care to remember. Good number pool. The Dark Side Alliance was formed by Legion in the run-up to Twister 2016 as a bit of a joke. And then there was the other alliance of clans, I think headed up by Phoenix back in the day. I didn't realize this was still a thing. But there you go. And Grumbly says he doesn't have knowledge of Live. God damn it. It's relying on you guys, you know? I've got so many people watching the stream. Some of you must know what's happening over there. Oh, oops. And Misha saying Live went to oops, easy, FBI. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you for the update. So, Tesher is a Spanish team. The stats here, I mean, apart from the rerolls, they're good, but they're not like anything groundbreaking in terms of win rate and average damage. But the performance of Cheshire in Clan Wars, they're always, whenever I've been playing R2K, big game, although I've been playing alongside really top level esports players, Cheshire are always the ones that kind of have been highlighted as like we think we can beat them, but like we're ready for them to really throw a surprise up. And they're always a team to take seriously. And certainly Alf, the clan lead, recognizing him, I think he pulls together a good team in esports. I think it's a good unit that they're coordinating, and you never know. Maybe they can have a breakout season in Mobile Masters, but I expect to see them up in the higher levels of the competition, but I don't think they'll be able to cinch a title anytime soon without an overhaul. So, Open is saying Rolling Swarm ASMR. I don't know if that's the direction we want to go in. That would be a bit too intimate, I think. So let's start listening to you guys a bit. So there is LXN, which is a German clan, and for all of those who are wondering how strong the German scene is at the moment, you have to remember that Raid, a German team, and H1Z1 Aldik, but they did well in the Ascent tournaments, and I think they were in the top echelon championship too, and didn't do too shabbily if I remember correctly. I think they even beat Hapkey. So you've got LXN, which is a team with a lot of big names in. I mean, I know the Money Dude, the Juicy Dude, the Gucci Dude, the Diamond Dude, and the Titan Dude. The other dudes are sort of new to me. But like, all of these players are active within December. All of them have got good average tiers, average damage, and all of them have got, apart from the Diamant Dude, who is obviously a reroll of sorts, have got really solid stats. And LXN have performed very well in the tournaments that I've seen them play in so far. And if they are interacting with and training with Raid as another German-speaking clan, these guys could really be ones to watch. And you know, I think there's a lot to be said for the opportunity to train and interact with another clan in your native language, in this case German, and especially one as with the prestige and the performance track record of Raid now. Raid, of course, having a huge breakout season. So actually, while we're here, we're seeing H1Z1, which is English and Arabic. Now they surprised me because they did very well, relatively well in the Ascent tournaments, got into the top echelon championship, and I hadn't heard of them before. And all of these players, apart from Larak 70, are, I mean, assuming that maybe there's one or two renamed here, but assuming there's been no renames, it's only really Larax, which I know I have met on the battlefield and I know is a very competent player. So it's, for me, they performed so well in the Ascent tournaments and then in the top echelon championship. When you consider, when you look at the average win rates and average tiers, and you know, when you kind of, we all do it, you all kind of look at a clan and you analyze the statistics and you kind of get a feel for where they're at in terms of ability, and their performance in the top echelon championship it exceeded my expectations significantly, and it was consistent as well. So for me, I mean, I don't know if they'll ever be able to compete, for example, with R2K, Eros, Raid, Legion Top Team, if Legion Top Team come back. But, you know, it's a solid CW unit here. And I think this is one of the big differences between the EU server and the NA server, is that in the EU server, we have a very rich upper tier of teams, and then we have a vast kind of second tier, like a kind of like middling to top, and then there's just an absolute plethora of middling teams. But all the ones we're talking about here are middle to top teams. They're all very competent, very active, and I would like to think that all of the teams that I'm talking about today could beat any of the other teams. I think, for example, that H1Z1 on a really good day could beat one of the top teams, like for example Eros, on one of Eros's really, really bad days. But you know, that's conjecture, and that's just but I think it's possible, you know, that on a best of 3, any of these teams have the ability to deliver a result, but the odds are heavily against them, for example. So there's H1Z1, and while we're here, and we were just discussing LXN, the German clan, let's take a look at Raid. Now, Raid are the current world champions. Raid are a very, very, very old clan indeed. Friend request. Om nom 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 nom. Raid formed, I thought they formed earlier than this. They formed in the run-up to the first Twister tournament. So they formed on the 22nd of May 2016. They're dedicated to esports. They're led by the streamer R1B, Rib, who is, well, tremendously skilled player. And their esports unit, I think, is headed up by Drizzle, if I'm not mistaken, who is, again, another... Veta, we haven't spoken about Eros yet, don't worry. You're on the list, we're on the list. We haven't done it yet. But, like... And this has been a very core unit. It's actually quite interesting. A lot of these players have been in Raid for a very long time. But for example, the Blue Steel is a former... we were in R2K together at the same time back in 2017. And Wait for Green has been in several other clans as well. So it's... But the vast majority of Raid is an example of a clan that sticks together, trains together, plays together. Their time will come. They didn't make the higher rankings. I think they've always done relatively well in Twister 2016, 2017, but they never cinched the top spot. And they are the perfect example. And yeah, Satan's right. Drizzle is from 60, which is a clan that is, you know, long gone in our memories, but was one of the most active and competitive clan was teams around at the time. Not the best, but definitely one to be a force to be reckoned with. So Raid are the perfect example of a clan that sticks together and eventually hits the mark. And now, you know, they've got the success. They bagged $50,000 with the team that went to Minsk. And I expect to see them at the top level of Blitz eSports for a long time to come. If the prizes if the prizes from Wargaming stay at the same sort of level financially, which is a good incentive. And so that's Raid. I've got my list here. Baton, yes. So we covered, as I said, I streamed the Polish Clan Wars tournament. Now, Baton won that tournament, which is, I mean, and they won it very convincingly. And there's 2 souls here. I'm guessing it's this souls that we're talking about. And I thought Baton had imploded. I had no idea where the members had gone to because I didn't have any any sort of way to track where the players had gone from that. I guess I could have reached out to some of the representatives on Discord, but I never found time to do so. But someone just pointed out that they've actually gone now to Souls, and it's one of the guys from ESA. Thank you for that. Much appreciated. So, again, we're talking about, and this is, I think, the difference between NA and EU. EU has such a huge player base. We've gone through like a dozen clans now, and we've seen players with tremendous stats, high win rates, high average damage counts, over high battle numbers. You know, and like crazy high battle numbers, which is awesome. And let's see here. And that's a former Legion player, Mariano XDXD. So it's great to see, for example, Baton hasn't. Well, the players in Baton haven't left the game. They've just rebranded, shall we say. But speaking of another clan that has gone on. Now, many of you, and someone was asking about PC controls on eSports earlier on. And I will do Hate Mondays. Okay, they're next exit, don't worry. And oops, Lazive, I will do. So the Unknowns, you may know them. They were the clan that had this crazy naming system. I think it was the clan lead actually paid for people to rename their accounts. Mental. They were all PC players. They did really well in the Blitz Pro League back in August of this year. But they didn't quite make the cut for Twister. And that was part of the Twister fallout before we even finished the season. And it basically it results in people walking away from the game. But as you know, some players with this weird renaming thing have found their home in other clans. And I think KS was the clan lead. Now it's K1. But look, there's still people here, but the activity they're not completely gone. There's at least 6 or 7 players which are still playing on a regularly active basis, but the clan is gone, you know. And I don't think that we'll be seeing it coming back anytime soon in a competitive format. And that's absolutely right, Blizzive. PC was the downfall. They were great in the not formal tournaments, but when it came to something which required touch, which is what all the big tournaments for Blitz do, they weren't able to perform at the same level that they could in training and other things, which allowed mixed controls. And that has ultimately led to the downfall of the Unknowns. But from car crashes to success stories, yeah, and rerolls, that's very true, Satan. There is now, I'm seeing that I think the military personnel count has gone down. But these guys were another, like H1Z1, they did well in the Ascent tournaments, and then they actually performed quite well in the Top Echelon Championship. I mean, not much to gain from the clan description. I don't know much about these players. But they did really well in the Top Echelon Championship. It's worth having a look through, actually. Can we see the participation in tournaments? Middle Echelon Championship. I thought they made the Top Echelon. My mistake. They made the Middle Echelon Championship, but I'm confused now. I thought these guys got through to the Top Echelon, but I stand corrected. But I was impressed with their performance. And I think potentially they could be ones to watch, but now I'm not so sure. So I scrubbed them from the list. We'll forget that we didn't look. We'll forget that we looked at them. And let's see, another potential clan that has bitten the dust is Elements. Now, who chills wins. Elements was formerly looking at a very kind of active esports environment. And you know, they did well enough to get themselves a clan logo. And there's still some great players here. Eat My Sauce, Demoniac, Demon Lord, Evil Comet, Favor CZ, another fantastic player. Funny Bears, I Want Chocolate. And again, like, you know, these are, it's even 10,000 battles. Okay, we're now at a point where, like, a lot of us are over 10,000 battles, but it's still a lot of time in the game. And there's a really good core of players here in Elements, and I initially, after Twister, they kind of taken their foot off the Tommy20, yes, welcome to the EU server. It is a hotbed of esports clans. We're burning our way through it though. But I'm impressed you've hung in there for this long, to be honest. And what I will do is I will put timestamps in, or I'll try and put timestamps in for the different clans in the description. So that if you want to check out a particular clan or my opinions on a particular clan, we can do that. So Elements, there's the potential here for these guys to come back and take a shot at Mobile Masters. There's the pedigree and the caliber of players. There's the activity. I think they need someone to take the reins and lead the esports team. But now, I promised that we'd check out these guys. They're on the list. I Hate Monday. It's a Polish clan. They actually won not these guys. Hapkey, my mistake. No, but they Hate, really good performance record. In Clan Wars, very solid player base when it comes to random battles. And they've always been involved. They've always been kind of like, you know, getting into the higher levels of esports tournaments. Tommy20 saying you'll stay until the end. That's impressive. That is very impressive. We will be wrapping it up shortly. I'm running out of steam, you know. But they've always been there, and like, for example, you can see here, this is a player from Unknown with that weird renaming thing that's moved across. You know, they've never quite made it into like a higher level, like the online, the top 8, for example, in the Twister Onlines. They've always been there competing. They're always towards the semi-finals or the finals of the group stages. They're always so close to breaking into the big leagues. This clan. And I think they're like Raid. They're another clan that has existed for a long time. You know, they've been around since the 8th of August 2015. They're older than Raid. And it's just a question if they can keep the guys together, they can keep playing and training. Eventually their time will come. And they will lock in some of the silverware from the esports scene. But if I think for Hate, it may require a bit of headhunting or a big jump in terms of dedication and time spent training. Because that is one of the major things that separates the great teams from the truly insane teams that we see in the top, like, you know, the top 4 from the Twister Onlines. And we've got 2 more. Hapkey, 3 more. And then we'll go back. Jesus Christ, there's so many clans. Okay, 3 more clans. I'm dying here. And then we will go and talk about the top 4 from Twister. The top 4 teams. So first of all, it's one of my former clans. The Immortals. Which are very active in esports, but also very good-natured, laid back, but also competitive at the same time. It's a bit of a mixed bag. And let's see here. So I'm just reading. Misha said, check out bots. They're 70 who decided to have lives after no lives in CW. Okay. No, I can't check those out. I have to limit myself now. We're pushing the envelope of my stamina for talking. And is this another unknown player here? FM? I'm not sure. But Kaga is the clan lead. She's great. She's a moderator on stream. We're working on the rollout project together with a couple of others. Bullseye Lords, Wax, which is really fun. We've got those videos. We have more in the pipeline. We're just in the editing phase, and it's proving to be a bit tricky working remotely from 4 different countries simultaneously on the same digital product. But these guys are very, very active in Clan Wars. They're training a lot with Loka. If you're looking for a training partner, these guys are ones to hit up. Zero's asking for Oops. Madonna. Okay, maybe. So the Immortals, like, this is a really good community, a really big, consistent unit. It was an absolute pleasure for me to be part of their esports team for a couple of months. This guy, Epic Elons, is I've watched him play in a couple of tournaments now. He is seriously good. I mean, I know we've just seen a lot of really great players from a lot of really great clans, but this guy is standout. A standout good player, in my opinion. And again, the Immortals, they narrowly missed out on the top 8 Twister 2018. They're there. Like, they have the talent. They have proven themselves that they've got like a great retention, great training program, great activity, great Discord server. And they're there on the cusp of breaking into the big leagues. And, you know, the next Mobile Masters, the next Twister, the next big tournament, all of these opportunities, we're seeing more clans jumping in to these higher esports levels. So this, for me, is the Immortals. I really want to watch. I'm going to do it now before I get lynched by the mod on stream. The mob, sorry. We've got Oops. Hall of Fame. Now these guys beat Argo. We just streamed the CZSK. We just streamed the CZSK Czech Republic, Slovakia tournament, and that was super cool. Like the best of 9 format. It was a really good set of games, and these guys played really well. And I mean, if you have a look here, it's a really tight-knit community. They've got that dedication going on where they've stuck the clan name into the player names. And I when I was casting their games, Zero, didn't realize you're the clan lead. But Bazive, Alien on Blitz, Borek, I think it was God. Oops, God. It's not here anymore. But Sanctus Dominus is a really strong core of players. And I mean, looking here at the battle counts, the activity levels, you know, if they can keep training and playing at the same level that we saw a couple of days ago, for sure, this is another clan to watch. And of course, there is Hapki, and these guys. This is another clan that has been around since time immemorial, since the 5th of August 2015. I think that is when clans first came into Blitz. It's another Czech-Slovak clan. Yeah, where does Saihai go? There's a few players, Grumbly, that I'm missing from Oops. So maybe Zero can fill us in with the fate of some of those players. Maybe they're just on tour. It happens. For example, Hapki, their team, they had Dada and Radak, which are big game team members as well, but they also play in the same way, for example, that Favor and Shaker, when they were part of R2K, would play for Argo. These esports players kind of have like an affiliation with an international esports team, like R2K, and then with a national team, like Argo, or like a kind of like a national-centric team, which is an interesting dynamic on the EU server, actually, to be honest. You know, you kind of have like double or dual clan affiliations for some people. So extremely happy. They've been around for a long time. They're always in the tournaments. They've always got a strong player base. And you know, they took the tournament, the CZSK Clans Championship, for the 2nd year in a row. So, you know, we're for sure they're going to be around for a very long time. I don't see these guys going anywhere. And again, they're another clan that are on the cusp of greatness. They're just waiting, like Raid, for that breakout season. You know, they get maybe the right mix of players. They get a new commander. Some of their younger players mature, able to compete. Someone gets a new iPad, or whatever. There's all these strange real-life factors that can contribute to a team taking the next jump. And I won't know, don't worry, 2020, I'm not ending the stream. Those are my closing 3. Don't worry. There will be time, Vator, don't worry. So, Hapki, my god. Making sure that we've covered all the bases. Let's see here. Aldik's asking for FZ. They're kind of on my radar, but not quite. Well, let's start actually now. Now, this is another clan which is sponsoring the channel. WinterWar. They're an all-Finnish clan. They love their clan wars. They've been playing a lot of clan wars actively, and I know that they're training now against Win. And Win, of course, they're the clan that I'll talk about next. The winners of the Top Echelon Championship. They put a lot of time and effort into clan wars. And it's fantastic to see. I have no idea what this says. I need a translation, Grumbly, of your clan's description. But basically, there is a fantastic community. For those of you who don't know, I know that we know, for example, Germany has a very strong clan wars scene. Poland the same. Czech Republic and Slovakia have very active clan wars scenes. But Finland, which I didn't know until I started streaming 4 months ago. Finland has got a really active, like, they play and they also follow it quite a lot. And I'm really lucky to have like such a very a great community following the channel in Finland. In the WinterWar clan, headed up by McLeish. Grumbly, you don't have to do it now. Just like send me a translation on Discord whenever. I'll know for next time. Don't worry about it. And yeah, they are a really great community. Got Grumbly here, 30k battles, and they're kind of one of these clans. And Tanuvara, of course, as well. Okiman Handy, 32, USS Finland, which, like me, you know, they're kind of straddling the boundary of being, you know, they're very into the game, with very dedicated players, great performance track records, and they're now kind of getting more involved in the esports scene, and I think that because my first time playing clan was AFK, and the Irma clan, which IRMA stands for, it really means AFK, and you know, you kind of have clans where you have got great players, which you can see on paper statistically. They don't have the performance, the insane purple win rate performance with like an average damage of 2,400, which is just mental to maintain that kind of performance record over tens of thousands of battles. But they're kind of transitioning from, I don't want to say casual because we're all competitive, but they're transitioning away from players who are primarily engaged in random battles and ratings towards becoming like an organized esports force. And WinterWar, I know if they're training with Win, who is next, and they're kind of engaged in that community, they will be one to watch because they will get organized, and they will have strategies, and it's as I've always said, you can't bin everything on random stats. There's so much more to clan wars, which people don't understand. So I'm saying, but for example, take Win. Win is, I would say, they used to be where WinterWar were maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago. And look at this, Silva. They've been so active now recently in all these different kind of community tournaments, the professional tournament, the Twister Cup in 2017, and the top echelon. And they also took, they narrowly lost out to C4 in the wildcard tournament. They've got their own logo now as well, which is also on stream. There you go, that way. And they're another clan which is supporting the channel, which is awesome. So a huge thank you to you guys and WinterWar and Rain RGN from NA. I love these national clans where, like, you know, the communication's done in the native language. It's a very tight-knit community. People are meeting up in real life and having beers and you know, talking about and relating to one another through the game. And for me, where WinterWar are on the way to progressing to becoming like a very, you know, proficient CW team, Win are already there. They are already able to dispatch top-level teams. I mean, I've seen them beat Legion top team in training matches, I think in the BPL tournament as well. They can deliver. And like Raid, they're training, they have the same people, they have a very strong community. And unlike Pramo, which, you know, kind of exploded in the fallout of Twister 2018, you know, the different people looking for not better pastures, but looking to reform, create better teams. Win is very solid. They've got great kind of loyalty. They're holding together over a very long time. And I really do believe that their time is coming, shall we say. So, oh, Zero's just dropped a bombshell on the T22 and T95E6. God damn, that's awesome. Okay, so we've got Win and WinterWar, which we've just covered. And now that kind of clears the way for me to go on to the top 4 teams. And we're pushing 2 hours now, which is, again, insane. Good night, Grumbly. And good night, Zero. So, let's get stuck into the meat of the issue. Well, we've seen Raid. Now I want to talk about R2K, which is not spelt like that. Well, actually, let's not find them through there. Let's find them through the tournaments. So, for example, we sourced from some of the other teams, particularly Easy and Rez. The players have bled out, and even First Alliance, the players have bled out into other teams, predominantly Eros. But now if you go to R2K, Fake Shockish, another one that's gone to Eros, but R2K, 7 players from the squad retained in the current clan. The Blue Steel gone over to Raid. A little bit of internal politics happening there. We had the show match of Eros versus R2K yesterday evening, and that was one hell of a performance. And Eros put in some really convincing victories over R2K, and it was a very convincing victory for Eros overall. And Winch, yes, that is you. Aldeek, we did Loker at the very beginning. They were the first. They were the first clan that we covered. So yeah, R2K, they won. It's worth bearing in mind. They came 3rd in the top 4. Legion top team went out straight 4th, straight last in the top 4. But R2K won the double round robin phase. They had the most consistent performance, and they really are a force to be reckoned with. And now they've got new members, and Zerd, the spiritual leader of R2K, you know, and they also they were in the finalists of the Mobile Masters in Seattle 2018, and they've had a couple of shuffle rounds with the clan tag, which is a story in and of itself. But now we're at R-2-K, R2K, which I think is the best looking clan tag so far. They have insane requirements for entry. But it's really worth noting, you know, they hoovered up a lot of easy players. They lost one player to Eros, one player to Raid. But R2K, the team that went into Twister 2018, the clan was like 12, 13 members. They've got Explode, who runs his own YouTube channel. And this is pure... I mean, right here, there is not a single weak link in this roster. Like, there are no players hanging on for the ride here. It is... I mean... Everyone here is an incredibly talented player. And I know that Eros put in a very convincing performance, but it was only in one best of 7. In one day, like one evening. And I truly believe, you know, that R2K are... I would say that... I would actually argue that they're a better team than Raid, which is a very controversial thing to say. Because Raid are an insanely good team and are the current world champions until Twister 2019. So I would say 100% that that R2K will be, and I'm gonna commit to something here. I think that R2K will be in the finals, in the EU finals for the 2019 Mobile Masters. I think the Mobile Masters is the next big tournament that's coming up, like the next big offlines. And I think in the online finals, where we decide which EU team goes to that final, I think that R2K will be in that final. Because I look at this talent pool and I look at the stability now. They've had a lot of roster issues in the past, but they've ironed out those kinks. And I think R2K are now the team. They're a solid unit. They've acquired a lot of talent from Easy. And I think they really do have the ability to go the distance in the Mobile Masters for the second. I mean, you know, this their second punch at that title. Yeah, Tommy 20. That's what I think. I think R2K can do it. No, unexpected. I actually don't think. I don't think that Raid. I think Raid will do very well in the online finals for the Mobile Masters. I would expect them to kind of be in the top 10 teams. I don't know how many teams will be able to enter the online qualifiers. But I don't think Raid will be able to repeat the performance that they had. And you have to look, for example, Raid, they came 4th in the double round robin stage. It was only... they had the kind of the breakthrough in the top 4, the knockout phase. But I think if you kind of add that performance to the round robin performance, Raid, they're an amazingly good team. Like I don't want anyone from Raid to watch this and think that I'm throwing shade their way, because they are seriously talented. But I think that R2K are better. Like on an average day. Obviously, Raid's time came. And I know Rib as well, and they did perform very well. I don't want to take that away from them. They played their hearts out. They had such a good game, and their tactics in the offlines, oh my god, were next level, and the preparation really showed. But I think Mobile Masters, we will see R2K and another team there, not Raid. That's what I'm sticking to. Tommy 20, what does R2K do better? I think they're going to train harder. I think they've got a better mix of tacticians at the moment. And I think I think we'll see a new meta in tier 10 before the Mobile Masters come along. And I think R2K will adapt to that faster than Raid will. It's my opinion. Please disagree with me and say otherwise. And that's true, unexpected. You know, having a native language, a common native language, is a huge advantage, and also, you know, interacting and knowing each other on a personal level, a social level, is only a good thing if you get along, of course. So that's my opinion for R2K. Anyway, now. Next one I want to talk about is Legion's top team. Because now we're going to kind of... This is... I don't know how to say this. But Legion top team have been not quite as dominant as Pramo. But they are... I mean... These guys... Look at this. The left nut has gone to whatever clan that is. NG's gone to UPS, the Ultimate Purple Squad, which is another clan I could talk about but won't, because we're really pushing for time now. But you've got Thomas, Blast, Gangdelf, Oxbow. Now Eggy's gone to Grump, Bushka's Patreon clan. What do you know? Papistan, Binny Legion. There's a tremendous, and Legion has always stuck together, and they're still together as a community on Discord. So I don't know, for example, about Easy or Rez, you know, what happened to those clans when the players fractured and went their separate ways. But I know, for example, that all of the guys in Legion's top team interact and are friends with each other. Unexpected. I disagree. I don't know. I think Legion... They've got the skill. I know that a lot of these guys, they're together as a gaming community now on Discord. They're playing Rainbow Six Siege, League of Legends, whatever. But I think the main problem that I mean, and you have to consider, like, they put in, out of all the teams in the top 8, they put in the most minimal training. They gel together very naturally as a team through Discord, through strategy, tactics, and experience. They have the most experience playing together, like Pramo top team, but slightly better. They have the most competitive experience of any kind of 8 or 9 players that play together at a high level on a regular basis in Blitz. And I think that was and still is one of their greatest attributes. And I think what their letdown in the 2018 season was they didn't start training early enough, and they didn't take it seriously enough. They didn't do the try-harding. Big game, R2K, Raid. Like, they were training much more than Legion top team. And now Thomas, the clan leader from Legion. Now if we go to Legion, which is, I mean... They're to 29 members, so there's still a good pool of candidates, accounts there. And unexpected, I wouldn't say they're dead. I would say they're inactive. These guys could come back at any moment, to be honest. I mean, and if you look at the activity level, most of the top team are not really active for like months. I mean, Thomas didn't play a random battle from the 29th of September, but he was playing in the online finals and the preliminaries. It's a crazy, like, the Legion top team, that core eSports unit is still together, in my opinion, on Discord. They're not active in the game in randoms. So you have to think, for example, the Legion team that showed up hardly played any random games, barely trained for the preliminaries, won the preliminaries, barely trained for the online, the top 8, and they still made the top 4. It was only at that level that they kind of came unstuck. I think these players are phenomenal Clan Wars players. I think if the Legion top team reformed and trained as hard as the other clans, as Raid, as R2K, as Eros, and put forward a dedicated esports team into Mobile Masters, I think if they trained as hard as the other teams, I think they would win it. But I don't know if that's going to happen because these guys are playing different games now. And although the Discord community is alive, I don't know if they're going to come back to the game. I was confident after Twisted 2017 that they would come back. And I think the only thing that's going to draw them back is a really significant prize pool. Because if you put that on the table, and I think these guys know how good they are, I think they would come back and have a crack at it. But, you know, the longer they leave it, the greater the distance becomes between them and teams like Raid, like R2K, like Eros, which are training super hard, which are keeping up with the meta. And as those teams get more experience, what's going to happen is Raid and R2K are going to get more advanced tactics, more skilled, and redefine the new meta. And Legion top team are going to kind of be left playing catch up. So if Legion top team come back in the next couple of months and start playing at the same level they were before, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, they can stay on top of this game. If they don't, I think, you know, that the Legion's time has passed, which would be the end of a huge chapter on the EU Clan Wars server. But of course, we can't talk about Legion in Twisted 2018 without talking about Big Game Team. Now, for those of you who don't know this, at the time of this Twisted 2018, the Big Game Team, it was never really Legion's second team. When you look at the Big Game roster, last is AFK has gone through to the fake R2K. I have no idea why. But RG, Hidden Strawberry, Veta, Dada, Vupsi, all in Eros. Romka's gone to Osh. Vice has gone to Osh. I'm actually going to take a sneak peek at Osh now because I'm not sure where this one is going, but there's talent here. But there's only 6 players worth of talent. So for the time being, I mean, Vivarose, Leonvik, Vice, Romka, those guys are, those 4 very skilled Clan Wars esports players. But there's not the making of a team here yet. Something to bear in mind, if anyone's looking to headhunt some players, there you go. That's where you go to. So Big Game was never really, or Team Fearless as they were first incarnated under the leadership of Vice. A lot of the players, including myself, from the Big Game team were former R2K players. And I actually got invited to Legion by RG and Voops to be part of the team that they were forming in Legion. We played a lot together in R2K, in the Twister 2017 series. And then we'd always kind of been in touch on Discord since. God, I hate this song. So the Eros after Twister, there was no reason for Big Game to stay in Legion. I think the advantages that Voops and RG had for staying in Legion when they were kind of forming the team was it gave them an active player pool to like draw upon if there were any number shortages in the Big Game team, and also kind of helped them recruit more players into the fold. Gave them a good base to operate from, rather than forming a new clan rather than forming a new clan and kind of going through that tumultuous period of like members coming and going and having low numbers in the clan and not sure if you can field a team. They skipped that by forming within Legion, and they had a very active Discord server, very good community, and they were able to kind of carve out a separate, distinct team. They had their, throughout the whole period, Big Game had its own Discord server, and it was a completely distinct clan within a clan, like a little Russian babushka doll. Big Game was nestled within Legion. And it's quite interesting to see, like, you know, a lot of the players in big game had come from R2K. You know, they've moved on for whatever reason, and it was actually big game that knocked R2K out of the top 4 in Twister 2018. And now, you know, we had the show match yesterday, Eros versus R2K, and I agree with Sikbra. Like, R2K and Eros are operating at the same level. They are both hyperactive clans. They've got a tremendous talent pool. Myself excluded from Eros. I wouldn't count myself in the same ranks in terms of esports playing as the guys there. But they have a tremendous talent pool, and they're very active, and they've got a lot of experience now. And for me, I think now that Eros has pulled away from Legion, they're in the same boat as Rain, RGN from NA. They've got an amazing talent pool, but they have to prove, and they've kind of done that with the big game team in the Twister 18 series, but they have to now prove that they can hold together. And we've started seeing, for example, in the last couple of weeks, got like Unicum, Yurdiki, Insight, the formation of a second Eros team. So there's going to be an English-speaking and a Russian-speaking Eros team. So Eros will be fielding 2 very competent Clan Wars teams. Kind of a fusion of big game, First Alliance, and a few other players from you know, a few other, some R2 from more former R2K players and others, coming together into 2 separate teams. And if Eros can hang together in the run-up and then through the Mobile Masters, I don't see how they can really fail in that sense, because the level of activity that they have, I'm not seeing any other clans which are training the same way that Eros and R2K are. I don't see any other clans which have the same caliber of players in terms of skill from random battles, and then the same kind of exposure and experience in Clan Wars and esports as R2K and Eros have, and also in combination with how active they are. So I get asked this all the time: you left Legion, you joined Eros. Why? It's Eros is big game. Big game was never really part of Legion. It was just kind of a staging ground for kind of setting up this new clan. And Dave Mack saying, you think our usurper would win it all the time since they are the main base? You know what? Yeah, absolutely. The Russian server has got such a huge player pool that I find it insane that they don't have as deep a clan war scene as the EU does. If you look at the results from the Russian server Twister 2018, C4 and Ace Ventura and the other top 4 teams are leagues ahead of the 4 lower teams that also made it into the finals. And I think the I don't know what it is. I don't know if there are not many Russian esports teams, if they're just not playing at the same level, they're not as organized as the EU and NA teams. If the meta is just not growing in the same way. But I think it is really, and I agree, Dave Mack, it's really surprising that Russia isn't as dominant as it should be, given its huge player pool. And you know, C4 is when they have a great game, like the in the finals of the top echelon championship, and then also versus Pramo in the opening games of the Twister Offline Cup in Minsk. Like, they have this fluidity, this movement, the speed of engagement, the focus fire, the accuracy, which is terrifying. Which is like, I'm looking at them and going, there is no clan in Europe and NA that can play as well as C4 can when C4 play well. But I think C4's problem is they're used to the Russian meta where that works. They're not used to playing teams which are as organized and coordinated and as strategically dug in as NA and EU clans. Like, the NA EU meta is all about deep strategy, baits, patience, crossfires, and the fluid, rapid firepower mode of Russian clans, like sometimes it steamrolls that approach. But I think more often than not, actually the NA-EU approach can trump the very aggressive Russian playstyle. Let's see. So, yeah, maybe if Russia can start taking some pointers from the EU and NA Twister Cup matches, their online finals, if they can adapt to the meta that we have, I expect Russia to win like every tournament, every major tournament that they go to, because statistically with such a big player base, they should be dominant. And it is really a surprise that they aren't. So yeah, that's the kind of the Twister Fallout video. I am knackered. It's been 2 hours and 15 minutes. I think the take-home message is Pramo is... we don't know what's happening to Pramo. It might survive, it might not. Mike is gone. AWOL. It's under new leadership. If it doesn't do well in Mobile Masters, it might fall apart. RGN Rain is the new one to beat, the new king on the block on the NA server. But again, if they don't do well in Mobile Masters, or they can't stick together past that make or break point, we may see another huge shift in the NA scene. In the EU, Legion top team are also AFK, and we don't know if they're coming back. The big boys, the ones to beat, are Raid, R2K, and Eros. But as we've seen, there are literally dozens. I mean, we looked at about 24 clans, which are all capable of beating those teams on a good day, give or take. And so the take-home message for the EU server is, if you are looking at playing esports in the EU server, like, there is plenty of opportunity. There's plenty of teams to join. There's plenty of teams to get involved with, and there's no certainty as to who will emerge as the next top dog on the EU server. But at the moment, my money is on R2K or Eros. I think Legion, their time is over. But I hope that it's not. I really hope that they come back and take the game by storm. But we have to see. Anyways, thank you so much. My voice is going. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, we're going to have some more tournament streams coming up. Rolling replays will be going on, I think, every fortnight as planned. There's also going to be a monthly esports Q&A, which will be all about me interacting with you and answering your questions, rather than rambling on about random my thoughts and feelings about different clans and whatever. And yeah, we've got there's a lot happening. The channel's in a bit of a weird place right now. I only started doing YouTube videos in August this year. So 4 months ago, I did my first streams with the Blitz Pro League, and then we were doing the stream of the Twister Cup, and then I started doing some other community tournaments and started producing like the replay videos and whatever else in between. It's been 4 months, but we're gonna start having more roll-up videos coming, more video edited content coming. So please do keep following the channel. There are some awesome things on the way. And this is Rolling Swarm, past midnight in Malta, signing off. Thank you very much, guys. I'm going to leave Nefix playing in the background for a bit, just so the stream doesn't cut off before I say thank you. And bye for now. Ciao, guys.